Rob, today Sal Perner announces this inquiry across the three codes of racing. Just Racing Victoria's response to that in general.
We're very supportive of it. We've worked very closely with Sal Perner and the Integrity Commission, and he has powers we don't have. So if he's able to open a general inquiry and encourage people to come forward with information, maybe that'll lead to some evidence which will enable us to open an inquiry.
It seems it's a bit of a wish list approach. It's across the three codes. Of course, thoroughbreds involved in that. I mean, you've been briefed on the background to what's going on. What do you expect to come of this, though?
Well, my expectations are not that high, given the information that the police already have, but they're unable to provide to us. But just maybe, look, it's worth trying. Just maybe we'll uncover some information and some evidence.
Does it mean for another month we're waiting on this inquiry to be completed whilst the allegations which have been aired in the Fairfax media and through the ABC continue?
Well, they're going to continue until the police lay charges. So that's inevitable anyway. But we encourage the police, but we don't want them to make false starts either. They've got a very serious investigation here, not just race fixing, but a murder inquiry. And I leave it entirely in the hands of the police as to the timing of those charges.
When you say charges, are you expecting some charges to be laid off their inquiries?
I hope so. I think my understanding is that there's sufficient evidence of race fixing that charges around conspiracy or fraud could be laid. That's certainly my expectation and hope.
You've been briefed, obviously, or Racing Victoria and the stewards have been briefed in the past 4 months, is it, in relation to this race fixing allegation?
Well, the chief integrity officers at Racing Victoria have been involved. I personally haven't been involved. There's been a clear separation here. That briefing has been inside the tent, if you like, with the Integrity Commissioner and the police for a number of months now as it's been developing, and it's only obviously come to light publicly in the last couple of weeks.
If the police were to lay charges against whoever and licensed persons that there may be, what would be the reaction of Racing Victoria?
Well, I think what you'd find at that point is if charges were laid, certain evidence would become public, and that evidence would then be available to us, and we would be able to open inquiry and lay charges of our own.
Of course, there is some speculation that Racing Victoria would like to have the powers to stand down certain licensed persons, but legally, I presume you don't have that power?
Well, we are taking advice on that. I don't think we're going to just make the assumption we can't. We're certainly looking into it. There are quite a number of issues around natural justice and charges being laid and taking a profession away from someone who hasn't been proven guilty. So, look, that's a minefield, but we're taking advice.
So you're certainly going down that path to pursue that legal advice?
We're certainly going to get the legal advice. We're going to look at it and we'll consider it, but no decision has been made.
Obviously, the allegations keep airing. Yesterday's Fairfax media issued another statement, much of which has been debunked, and you responded to that?
Yes, look, there was an allegation about a senior jockey that apparently had a bet on a race that he was riding in. Now, obviously, that breaches the rules of racing if that's happened. That's the first we've heard of that. No evidence has been presented. Apparently, it happened sometime in the last 2 years. I mean, it's just speculation and innuendo. Bring the evidence forward, I say, and we'll open an inquiry and act swiftly.
Is it the sort of information that could go to Sal Perner's inquiry if someone has that information?
Yes, certainly. That's exactly the reason that it's been open. So if people know the details of that, please provide it to Sal Perner.
Because the bottom line remains in all this, you push to the government to change legislation to enable you to have powers with the police to extract information. I mean, is there anything further down that path?
Well, we've been in dialogue with government just recently as last night, and the government is suggesting to us that we need to take this through the courts again and test our powers. Obviously, that's quite a lengthy process. We urge them to reconsider bridging that gap, because certainly the other two codes of racing, Hines and Greyhounds, both have those powers today, as do the other principal racing authorities in other states. Why is RVL any different? We really would like to see legislative change.
Why is RVL different? What are they telling you?
Well, it's just the structure of RVL as an independent body is quite different. It's not set up as a government statutory body. So this makes the difference, apparently. But a legislative amendment could fix that.
Much is made of timing here, and I presume the answer here is that's the way it is. Obviously, the spring carnival's upon us. We lost Black Caviar, we lost Atlantic Jewel, and now we've got a race-fixing inquiry. But that's just the way it is. It
is the way it is. This time of year, as the footy season ends and we move into spring racing, I would prefer the headlines to be about our stars of the sport rather than about this. But it's inevitable. We have to live with it. The issue now is to deal with it.
Other industry bodies, Racing New South Wales has come out and said that they'd like this cleared up as a matter of expediency, so that all participants have their names cleared. Was your reaction to their statement?
Well, look, I agree with it. We want it cleared up as a matter of expediency, but we can't interfere with a police investigation. The police will take its course. They'll take their course of this investigation. They'll lay charges as they see fit, and we'll deal with it when we can. But no point jumping to conclusions. We have to wait till that's done.
Victoria's owners body trailer have come out this morning suggesting that all jockeys' phones should be tapped.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. I don't think that we would have the power to tap phones. Even the police struggle to get the powers to tap phones. We don't even have the power at the moment to compel phone records from unlicensed persons. We can from licensed persons. But that's a minefield, I think, and needs a bit more work.
Hopefully then you'll be encouraging all industry players or anyone who's got information to come forward to Sal Perner's inquiry, because he's got some powers that you don't.
He does. He's got the power to open this general inquiry, and we encourage everyone, or anyone that knows anything about this, to come forward to Sal. Maybe even something that you think might not be that relevant at this point in time might piece together with something else and enable us to get some evidence to open an inquiry.
Let's hope so. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Bruce.